Everyone, I'm back. So I'm going to make this part 2 of this journal kit that I bought when I first started out about 3 years ago, maybe 2.5, 3 years ago, from Zoe at RazzersCrafts. That's the shop on Etsy. I put this together on camera following her instructions, which I have here. And because I wasn't feeling well, I'm still not feeling well. I've actually tested positive for COVID 4 days ago now. So at the time I did this video, I wasn't really not feeling well, but it was before I realised I had COVID. So my head was woolly, and really I should not have done any crafting, but I wanted to. And unfortunately I haven't been able to do any since because I've been in bed. I've been so ill. So today's the first day of actually feeling more human. And tomorrow is the first day back at work. So I've got to try and get back on track, really. And tomorrow is the 5th day. So that's the day that I have to test again to see if I'm positive or negative. And fingers crossed, I'll be negative, hopefully. But when I put this together on camera, I had it all like this, and I've totally overlooked the fact that the very first line of the instructions says space the cover board and spine piece out with approximately a 1/4 inch gap. There wasn't a spine piece. There probably was originally, but I don't know what happened to it. I've looked everywhere that I stored this in my stash in a drawer, and I had a look in there and I cannot find it, so I'm going to improvise now. I don't even know how wide the spine should be, except that in the kit was enough tea-dyed paper here for I would say it says for 5 signatures, plus you add a few in of your own papers. So there are enough for 5 signatures. Now, to put 5 signatures in here, I think I'd need at least an inch spine. So I'm now going to have to try and put a spine in. So I've cut down here all the work I did. I have to cut it in half again, and we'll start and put the spine in. So this just shows you how you can improvise. So I found at the back of a piece of one of those big pads, because I have got some of this card, but it's not tall enough. It's only A5, and this is bigger than A5. So what I'm going to do is double up these. I'm going to make 2 strips to go down here, and I'm going to double them up. So I think I'm going to make mine 1 inch, and we'll see how many signatures we can get in. I mean, you don't have to have 5, I guess. So if I had 1.5 inches, maybe, that's going to make it a big journal. So I'll say 1.25 inches, I think. Okay, so I'm going to say 1.25 inches, and I'm going to measure 1.25 inches this side here. Here, and then I'll draw a line. So I'm going to take those out of the way for a moment. So I'm going to join those 2 lines up, those marks I've just made there and there. Okay. So I think that's about 3.5 centimeters, isn't it? So let's see, 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches is, in centimeters, is 3.25 centimeters. I think you'll find that is. So anyway, let's join the lines up, and I have no what's it called, Tyvek. I don't have Tyvek in my stash. A little bit of Tyvek, sticky back Tyvek came with this. I used that, so I'm going to improvise by using some Scotch tape, because that's about the nearest I've got. So what I'm going to do is cut down here with a knife. I think this is the best way to do it. And I'll just get my messy mat out so that I don't cut chunks out of my good mat. And I've got the heavy ruler now, and I'm going to line that up. Let's double check that I have got an 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, I mean 1.25 inches. Right, okay. As I haven't even decided on a theme for this journal anyway, I think this will be fine. So I'm going to now, watching your fingers, be very careful when you do this. Cut through this cardboard. Oh, I just hope that I've cut through it. Oh, I have, thank goodness for that. So it's quite thick, but not as thick as this board was, this cardboard here. It's not as thick, so I'm going to double it up now. So the height of this piece is going to be, the height of this is 8.75 inches. So I'm going to now cut out and do the same again. I'm going to measure 1.25 inches either side, either end, here and here. And again here and here. And then I'm going to join those up. Like so. Get the very heavy ruler, that belonged to my husband, and he donated it to me. He said he didn't need it anymore. Did I want it? And of course, being the hoarders that we are, I said yes, of course I can use it. Actually, it's quite invaluable for having a weighty measurement, you know, weighty measure that stays put when you're doing this sort of thing. So that's good. Right. And this, as I say, is just the back of one of those notepads, the big notepads that the children usually have for school. Okay, so now I want to measure. I'm just going to double check. So they say measure twice, cut once, don't they? Just to make sure, because of my woolly head. 8.75 inches. Now I want 8.75 inches. Let's put them up that way. I'm just going to measure 8.75 inches, which is there, and that again 8.75 inches on this side here. Okay, and we're going to cut that out using the lines on my mat. Let's use the heavy ruler again because it worked the first time. There's my mark, there's my line. Using my knife, I know these are self-heal, these mats, but I still rather do it on the messy mat than on my good mat, which I've forget to cover up sometimes when I'm doing messy stuff. Right, let's put this away. Oh, so we don't injure ourselves. So now we should have double thickness spine to insert. So we're going to cover this anyway. At least the inside is going to definitely be covered, and I will now cover the outside as well. So I'm going to stick these two pieces together, and we'll use some Beacon 3-in-1 for that. Hopefully you can see me. Just going to wipe that off at the end. So this is by far the toughest sort of glue I've got, really, that I know will stay once it comes out, but it doesn't like the cold. So I'm just gonna, and it's hurting my hand actually, I'm having to squeeze this really, really hard. But the cardboard can soak glue up, so you do need to put a liberal amount on. We don't want it coming apart. Okay, let's see what we can do with that. Making sure the ends are together, like so. Get them pressed. Like that. That's good. That looks fine. Okay, so we're going to stick this down. Let's put the lid back on there. So although it doesn't want to come out when you actually want to use it, when you're not looking and you leave it, especially standing up or on its side, it will suddenly come out like a volcano larvae, you know, all the way out. So now I've got to stick this in, and then what I'm going to do is, I've got some of this calico, luckily enough. I'm going to cover the inside with a piece. Now this bit I'm not looking forward to, so I've got a very wide piece of tape. I think I'm going to need to put one there and one there. Just let me see if I've got any other tape that might be suitable. Just hold on. I'm just looking in the cupboard next to me. I don't have any bookbinder tape. It's something I keep needing to buy. I've got this, which is a sort of a decorator's tape, and it actually, although it looks woven, it's smooth. So let's use this. I think I might manage better with this, because I can see through it more easily and line it up. So I am literally lining it up on there like so, and I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put a line of it down the back, or rather the front of the journal, like so. And I'm going to, it does stick very well actually. I'm going to trim that off. I was going to fold it back over, but let's just trim it there for a minute so I can manage this. So it's already adhered. Wow, gosh. I don't think I was meant to actually put this journal together, you know. I had it all this time thinking one day I'll be brave enough to put that kit together. This is when I first started out, and now I feel like, yeah, I thought, oh, this would be a breeze. No, it is not. Not for me, because right, I'm going to have to try and do it off camera. Hold on. I've managed to do that. So I made that spine because I can't find the original, and I've taped it in, and I left a sort of a 1/4 inch gap between the side of the journal, the front flap and the back flap, and the spine on either side. so it folds like this now, so I'm pleased with that. So it hasn't gone according to plan, but never mind. And then the next piece, the next stage according to these, is going to be even more difficult, I think, because first of all it says gather your 5 signatures. Well, I'm only, I think, going to use 3. I'll see what they look like as 5, these pages. So there's 15 sheets, so that's 3 for a signature, isn't it, if it's 5? 1, 2, okay, let's get them out. 1, 2, 3, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then that's 3, 1, 2, 3, that's 4, 1, 2, 3 is 5. So we're going to fold them in half this way, and let's put this to one side. We've got a flat surface. I'm just going to bone folder that down. So that's 1. This is lovely paper. Whatever thickness she used is very, very good quality. One there. 2. I must buy some thicker copier paper because my tea and coffee dyeing is not good on the paper I use. I literally have to show it the liquid and it just all falls to bits. It turns into paper mache. So I've stopped for the moment doing it that way. So that's something else on my list to buy when I've got the funds available. If anyone has any ideas of where I can get some reasonably, like a ream of reasonably priced copy paper that's over 100 GSM, that would be great in the UK. Okay, so those are the 5. That's what it would look like with 5 signatures, like so. And then I put those in there, so they'd have to be fairly evenly spaced. Gosh, I've not ever done a 5 signature journal. I think 3 was probably my maximum. I'm debating on whether to do 3 or 5. If I do 3 and add in some papers with all the bits and pieces you add in after, oh, what a dilemma. What, shall I just follow the instructions and do 5? I want to add in some other bits. I want to add in some music paper. I'm going to go with 3. That's my gut. I'm going to go with 3. So I'm going to add 2 of these to the other signatures like that to even it out, so that there are 3 signatures with 5 papers in each one. My gut's telling me to do 3. I don't know why. I just because of the sewing in and the signature for this is not what I'm used to, so I don't know if I can manage 5. If I can manage this one, then maybe I'll do a 5 and I'll make it myself. So that's 3. Okay, and then in each one I wanted to add a music sheet, so I've got some out. This one, and I have this one here. Or do I want it that way round? I think that will be fine. And I think I had one more, which is this one. Like so. Let's just instructions about, all of that are instructions about how to play it. So those are 3, so we'll put one with each signature. Okay, so we've got our 3, and then I've got some bits of graph paper here, so I thought I'd have a smaller page like so for each one, and we'll put them in order at the end. And then there's a nice sheet there that can go with that one. And then what else have I got? I've got this one here, which is quite thin, but it'd be nice for someone to actually write on, I think, in the journal. So that's those. Then I decided this is going to be sort of a loose botanical themed journal. So I've got some nice book pages here. Do that better. I think I'm running out of steam now, to be honest, so we may tackle the sewing in the signatures in part 3. That's one. We've got this one here. I'll do that one in the other way. That can go there. And then this purpley one. Yeah. I bought these in a stash of papers, so I haven't like torn them out of a book or anything. Right, that's those. What else did I want to put in? So we'll be covering the inside, I think, with some nice stiff paper. So I've got this sheet, which is a Bo Bunny sheet from the their cafe range, and I like this side of it, so I thought I might cut that and have that inside, and then we'll decorate the outside sort of differently. Okay, so that's going to be for the inside there. I'd rather have that than that, I think. And then I've got some digital scraps, really, these are, that we could put in as pages as well. I like this one. I don't know where this came from, but I'm always buying these packs of papers that people sell, because rather than keep buying books, I quite like to buy the paper bundles, and get all sorts in them this way. So I'm going to put that one with that one. We'll just pop them together. And then these will probably need, so one of them is back to back. This one, I think, might put that with that one, and I'm going to trim it up. And then this one, these scraps, I think these were freebies off the internet, and they were wrongly printed. So what I thought I might do is I might stick these two together, so on thin paper, and the backs are white, so I might do that. So those will be some extra pages. And then I've also got this sheet here. I quite like this side. Again, this is Kaiser Craft. It's a sheet called Embroidery. It's very pretty. So I thought that maybe we could have 2 pages out of this at least. So yeah, so I'm going to put that, I'm going to cut them down off camera. So those are going to be our signatures, and I might look and see if I've got some envelopes. Perhaps put one envelope in each one. Let's have a think about that. I've got some old mailers, you know, that have come in the post. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And then the reason I'm stalling on sewing in the signatures is because the kit came with this. So let's put these signatures to one side, and I'll show you what I mean. So So came with this, and it's actually called book cloth, and you get this square piece. No, it's not square, rectangular piece like this, and the instructions say, so that the signatures are done with 5 pamphlet stitch, and I'm only used to doing 3, so those are the instructions there for that, how to sew them, what direction. And I have to think long and hard about that. And then it says make 2 folds in the book cloth to make a gully the size of your spine. So I measured 1 3/4, and I've made that, and I assume that this is what you do with it, and you make this is a gully, obviously. And I think let's just take 1 stack of papers, and I think you stitch them into there like that. And when you've finished, this is how I read it, you know what I'm like. So when you finish, you pop that down on there with your signatures in, so you'd have your 3 signatures in my case, spread out, sewn into this cloth, and then the cloth gets stuck down to the spine. It's a whole different way of putting in a signatures that I've never done before. And then once you've done that, you cover this, and obviously this, with your piece that you're, you know, whether you're going to cover it with material or whether you're going to cover it with I don't know, in my case scrapbook card, you know, paper, thicker. So these will be my 3 signatures. So they just try and imagine that they will be sewn into this gully. So I've made the creases here, which are kind of like that. These are going to be sewn into this book cloth like that, and then the book cloth is going to be stuck down, and this is going to be stuck down, but these will be sewn to it. I just hope this works. Gosh, when I bought this kit, little did I know, even down the line, after making my own journals and making my own covers completely from scratch, I never realised this was going to be quite so tricky. I've never made a spine quite like this, but you know, these kind of fit in here, so I assume one will go in the middle there, and one will go that side evenly spaced, and one will go that side evenly spaced. So I'm hoping that I've got that right, because if you look at the picture of the diagram, I mean, first of all, that's how to do you do your signatures. You put your 5 marks down on each signature, and then using the same template with your holes. So I mean, I do keep a template, but mine's like 3 signature templates, so all you need is a piece of card really folded over. I'm just trying to find a piece. I don't know if anyone needs to know how to do that, but say for instance this was a piece of card. What you do, and this is scrap, so out of the bin, what you would do is you would evenly space your 5, would make it the same height as the tallest piece of your signature, and then you'd space out your 5 holes with a bradawl, you know, or an awl, and then according to this, you sew the signatures to the book cloth. So you do the same with the book cloth, you space it out, so you'd have to divide this across here into 3, so that you've got 1 signature, 2 and 3, or if you're having 5, you see, it'd be quite tricky to space them out. And then you'd match your holes down here with your holes on your template that were also matched on here, so that then you stitch this to this. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave it there because my mind is scrambled, and I'm going to carry on finding a few more bits out for the signatures, and then we'll come back and we'll make the template with the 5 holes and I'll do one so that I've got 3 signatures, 3 sets of holes all matching down for that. Okay, so I'll come back and we'll do that on camera, so it might help somebody who's new and doesn't understand like me, and I'm not that new now. Can't use that as an excuse. But anyway, I'm going to say goodbye and I'll be back soon. Bye bye.